Alright, so now we're going to go over the section of degrees and their constructions, translations of quam. Remember, the quam is going to translate 5 different ways. Those 5 different ways are how, question mark, how, exclamation, whom or which. If it is a relative, remember, qui, quack, quote, quis, quick, quim, quam, quote. Now, these last two are the ones that are used with constructions. It could be translated than if it's hanging around a comparative, and as blank as possible if it is hanging around a superlative. So let's look at number 46. Sextus spotted. Did spot, has spotted. These underlined in blue as my main clause. The fast girl, keller, kelleris, kellere means fast or quick. So he spotted the quick girl, the one, standing. See the present active participle? In the form. So what girl did he see? The standing in the form girl. Quam, whom the consul had led, pluperfectly, as his wife. Whom, as a wife, the consul had led. This quam is not hanging around a comparative, not hanging around a superlative. It is not showing a question or exclamation. Instead, what it is doing, it is functioning as the relative, relating back to puellam as its antecedent, feminine, therefore quam is feminine, singular, therefore quam. They just happen to have the same case. That is accusative because in its blue clause it is the direct object, and that is accusative because in its red clause it is the direct object. But it is the quam relative, the girl whom, as a wife. Number 47, Sextus spotted a man. A man, and I need to underline this in blue because it's the main clause. There we go. A man who had been elected, had been chosen consul by the people. Remember, the consuls like the co-presidents during the Roman Republic. But now we have here this quam. And what is that quam hanging around? It's hanging around clarime, superlative. Not quickly, that's clariter. Not more quickly, it's clarius, but clarime. The man, correntim, a correntim man, the man running as quickly as possible in the form. So this one is as quickly as possible because it's hanging around that comparative. Number 48. The fast cook of Cornelius. Oh my. Look at this. All the next three have the same up to a certain point. Actually, they have the same all the way through, so I'm just going to translate it once. The fast cook of Cornelius, cuius, that's genitive. So, qui quod quod, cuius, cuius, cuius. Uh-oh, went too far. Whose food, or the food of whom, genitive, is eaten by all the dinner guests. So the quick cook of Cornelius, whose food is eaten by all the dinner guests, received greater praises. Maiores is the comparative of magnus. Magnos, lauda, or laudes, would be great praises. These are maiores. Do you see the IOR even on an irregular adjective? That IOR is there. I will go get it now and show to you. It never hurts to see it here. And so again, as you can see, magnus, maior, maius. But here it is maiores because it's modifying laudes. Greater praises. Now, multo here is then used as the degree of difference. By a lot. Greater by a lot. And then this is your ablative of comparison. What's being compared? Well, what's being compared is the cook of Cornelius than the cook of Massala. So the two cooks are being compared. And so here, it would be quo, by, with, because of, from, in, on, at, than. So again, it says, in all three of these sentences, the quick cook of Cornelius, whose food is eaten by all the guests, received greater by a lot. We in English idiomatically would say much greater praises than the cook of Massala. Now, if I wanted to, I could change this up somewhat, in which quo, instead I would put down quam, but remember you will put the cook in the same case with the quam as to what it's being compared. So what's being compared? Cook versus cook. So it would be cocus. Cocus. And so there you have it. Mayores laudes, greater praises, by a lot, ablative degree of difference, than the cook, ablative of comparison of masala. So your first word embedded in this one is simply coquo. C-O-Q-U-O, coquo. Put that in there and get yourself a free 100. Moving on. Number 51. So the handsome boy runs more quickly. I-U-S, remember, is the way by which you express the comparative adverb. Comparative adverbs: laetius, more happily; pulchrius, more beautifully; fortius, more strongly; acrius, more sharply. And so therefore I-U-S is the comparative adverb. Now, here it says make pulcher comparative. That's easy. Take pulcher, or, and now we're going to put our third declension endings. But it's modifying nominative, and so remember, third declension nominative has no ending. That's the form. Had it been genitive, pulcherioris. Had it been dative, pulcheriori. Had it been accusative, pulcheriorem. And so forth and so on. The handsome boy runs more quickly. I just showed you that. The I-U-S. There it is. Acrius, more sharply, more luckily, more strongly. It's describing how he runs. And then you have your degree of difference again. By a lot. We in English idiomatically would say much more quickly than the slow slaves. By with, because of, from, in, on, at, than. Why than? Because it's an ablative hanging around a comparison. If I wanted to, I could change that to where it would be quam. And again, what we would have to do is put slaves in the same cases as what it's being compared to. So what's being compared? The boy versus the slaves. So it would be the nominative. Servi. Your second word that you're going to be putting in is Calarius. C-E-L-E-R-I-U-S. Calarius. Moving on. There we go. And so, same exact sentence. So I'm not going to go over that one. Once again, we have here two sentences that are the same. So the teacher always asks Sextus questions, but they are difficiliores, more difficult questions than Marcus. Note the case of Marcus. Now I know that quam translates as than because it's hanging around comparative. But look at Marcus. Marcus is in the same case as what's being compared. So what's being compared? Sextus versus Marcus. So do you see how it's sextum and then marcum with the quam. Had the quam not been there, it would have been simply the ablative of comparison, Marco. But I know it's more difficult questions than he asks Marcus. So he asks Sextus. Now, same exact sentence in 55, but how we're going to make then difficiliore superlative. Now remember to make superlatives is either going to be isi mus aum, re mus aum, or li mus aum. Difficilus, difficile does not have an R, so we can eliminate that one. And it's either isimus or is it one of those six? Yes. Gracilus, gracile. Humilis, humile. Facilus, facile. Difficile. Simile, and dissimilus, all use limus aum. So here we have to figure out not only difficile, and then lim, that's your suffix, and we want to make it accusative plural. All superlative adjectives are first and second declension. So quaestiones is feminine, difficilimos. Or if it were masculine, difficilimos. And I'll be honest, I don't remember the gender of question, quaestio, but I think it's feminine. I'm almost positive it's feminine. So difficilimos. But this will be multiple choice, so you'll be able to obviously pick out the right one. Number 56. Multipocola. That is neuter plural nominative. Look over here. How convenient that we have our endings up. Pocolum, pocoli, pocolo, pocolum, pocolo, pocola. Pocola are cups or cups. Cups do something or are done something too, or the subject verbs, the cups. Here, it is nominative plural. And by the way, your second item put in for your free 100 is difficiliores. D-I-F-F-I-C-I-L-I-O-R-E-S. Spell it correctly, please. Now, 56. Many cups, passively, pleo plere, to fill. So passively, are filled, and their many cups of the dinner guests are filled with good wines. Make bonus superlative. Well, remember, that is an irregular, so it is bonus Compared as melior, superlative optimus, not optissimus. That means bestest. We just want best. So, make it superlative, optim, and it simply needs to have the same case number and gender. We just said with. Why with? Because of from with the good wines. So we want to say with the best wines, all superlatives, even irregulars, are first and second position, optimis. Now we're going to do the same thing, same sentence, many cups. Now I told you a second ago that that is neuter plural. So we need to make it neuter plural. Look and see. Remember that for multus, you've got multus, much, and then multi, multa, plural, many. This is the multa right there. So you're not going to go with plures. Plures would be the equivalency of the masculine and feminine of multi. Neuter is plura, more cups. So therefore, that is the answer to number 57. Now, 58, 59, and 60. Titus likes to drink wine, magus. Magus here, there it is. Magnopere is the adverb, greatly. Magus is more, or more greatly. But it is qualitative. It cannot be measured. Quantitatively, can be. Qualitatively, can't. You can't measure how much you like to do something more than something else. So here, Titus likes to drink wine more greatly, qualitatively, by with because of from in on at, than Cornelius. Ablative, hanging around comparison. So more qualitatively. Here, plus is an example of quantitative. That's the difference. Magus more qualitative, magus more quantitative. What does quantitative mean? Quantitative means you can measure it. So it says that Titus likes to drink more of the wine than Cornelius. Can you measure that? Sure. Volume, number of cups, even frequency of drinking. But it can be measured. He likes to drink more of the wine. And so here, that is the adjectival substantive, more volume. That is why plus right here has an asterisk. Much wine, multum vinum, more of the wine. It is always going to be that form plus because it implies more volume. It is substantive, more amount, and it will have the genitive part of whole. And then finally, Titus likes to drink wine the most, or the most wine. But regardless of whether it is wine the most, or the most wine, it can be measured, because it's quantitative. Plurimum or plurimum. If he likes to drink the most wine, then you're measuring the volume. If he likes to drink wine the most, then you can measure it in frequency or in the amount that he is doing it. But regardless, it can be measured. And your final answer, or your final item that you're putting in is magus, M-A-G-I-S. Magus, as simple as that. Just means more, but qualitatively more, as in more greatly. So hopefully, this is of great help to you, and you will earn an easy 100.